Pull my shades back. Actually, I'm gonna put them over here. All right. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? I hope that you are doing good. Let me get my life together on this beautiful Monday. Lights go for. It's telling people that I'm live. I didn't know that it was connected to me like that. When I go into Pretty Period community and I go live, I didn't know that it was gonna tell that I'm live on my actual page too. So hey Sharita, how are you? So good to see you. We get ready to tap in, tap in, tap in. I feel like it's been forever because I took a break when I was out of town last week. And I felt some kind of way because I wasn't here. Do y'all know how it makes me feel when I'm not with y'all? In case y'all didn't know, I want y'all to know that I feel a way. Like I feel a way and then I feel away, like I'm far out from y'all. But I'm bringing it back in. Are y'all ready to reconnect? Are y'all ready to reignite? Because I am. Let me tell y'all, this past weekend, or the weekend before. Okay, so the weekend before, I was in Aspen, Colorado. One of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been in my life. Definitely thought about whether or not I could relocate and live there. Okay. The other side is this past weekend, we celebrated my two oldest sons' birthdays. So one is August 14th and one is August 17th. And so they wanted a hotel stay over the weekend. And so we made that happen for them. And I'm so happy that they got to have that moment for themselves. And so y'all know I'm doing my work, putting my incense and stuff in here, getting it together. And I'm also going to spray a little bit of infusion today. These earrings, I'm going to tell y'all, they cute, but they kind of heavy. I'm going to put a little dragon's blood spray out there for us. And get these Angel Whisper cards cracking. And so I hope y'all feeling good. How many of y'all got y'all babies in school? Y'all back to school? Y'all kids started back? Mine start back tomorrow. At least my older three do. And I'm just gonna have a baby at home, homeschooling him. Which if I had him my way, he'd be in school too. But his daddy's like, we're not going to put him in school. I'm like, he deserve it. 1, 2, 3. That's what fell out. Okay, vision. See, I got vision. Got a vision for this group. I hope y'all got a vision for it too. I got a vision for this group. I got a vision for the work that I'm doing. And right now, you know, the vision that I had back in 2007, 18 years ago, is not necessarily a vision that I have in 2025. And just sadly enough, my husband is kind of stuck there. He's stuck in 2007. So anyway, I'm gonna pull our period power card as well. And man, I want to talk to y'all about some things that I have had the opportunity to do over these last couple of weeks. And I know I haven't been tapping in, but I just want y'all to know that I've been tapped in. I've been listening. My ear has been to the ground, and I'm hearing from our primordial mothers about all these things that I'm starting to see. And one of the things I'm starting to see is that women, they rising up in a lot of ways, right? They're rising up in a lot of ways that's calling for a deeper connection. The connection card just came up, but it didn't pop out. I saw it. It acted like it wanted to, but it didn't come out. But because we're still in the summer, productivity came out. So we talk about this productivity, right? That means putting things into action. And this is the ovulation or ovulatory phase. And what's so funny and interesting to this card to me is that I'm in ovulation right now. I'm on day 17. Get ready to go into my luteal phase, which is the inner fall. For those of you who have been following, y'all know the seasonal shifts that we go through as women, right? I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited, and I really want to bring this information to y'all today because, like, you know, I can't make it up. Y'all see me shuffling. I ain't just picking these cards out. They picking us, okay? Vision and productivity go together, right? In order for you to be able to do the things that you say you want to do in life, you got to, one, have a vision. And it's like 1, 2, 3. You got to have some order. And everything is in order. When we talk about having our cycles are definitely a part of a time stamp, right? And so when we think about our timelines, we also have to think about productivity. And during the ovulation phase is when we are the most productive. And if you didn't know that, now you know. Like, this is the time for you to really activate the plan, activate the vision, do the things that you need to do to get the vision in motion. Okay, so I'm going to read the Angel Whisper card first. Your path will not look identical. Start over. Your path will not look identical to anyone else's, and that's what makes you unique. Remember that as you stay the path that feels connected, the path will continue to lead you to alignment. Let your vision be as different as you are. Okay? The affirmation. My path is mine and mine alone. When I follow my path, alignment comes naturally. My path is mine and mine alone. When I follow my path, alignment comes naturally. Okay? Like 1, 2, 3. Like 1, 2, 3. There you go. It's natural, right? So when you write the vision, that's why y'all got to get y'all journals if y'all haven't gone over to the stand store and got your journal. So you can be keeping up with your cycles, right? When you can be really activating what it is that you need to know about your everyday experiences. This is an opportunity for you to do that. Okay, so go on over there to the stand store and get your journal. Okay, it's a downloadable PDF. You can download it, and for those of you who have iPhones, I think you can write on the journal because it's a PDF, so you don't need to print it off, and you can keep it in your notes. For those of you who are like me, who like pen and paper, and the pen to paper concept, right, is what you need to be able to say, I'm writing the vision down and I'm making it plain. And the herald, they talk about it, write the vision, make it plain, and a herald may run, so that a herald may run with it, meaning that, like, that a messenger could run with it. Your ovulation phase is your messenger. Your egg is your messenger. And when you understand that, like, we have this holy grail thing happening in us internally at all times, then we get to make sure that we get to fulfill the visions that we have set for ourselves. And it helps us to be productive, right? And when we're productive, we can get things done that we need to get done, whether that's sitting up with a cup of tea and a notepad and your pen. Put it down, okay? Don't just keep it up here or in here. Put it on the paper so that you can see it, and that is a form of manifestation. If you didn't know it, now you know. Okay, it says productive. This is a time to do work which is challenging and audacious. With the combination of estrogen and testosterone peaking around the same time, your hormones can help you to break new ground without breaking a sweat. So decide what you want to do and get to it. It's that simple, y'all. Train your mind to think about the things that you want versus the things that you don't want, because that's a conversation I've been having with one of my good girlfriends, is that the universe is going to give you exactly what it is that you say you want. Even if you say you don't want something, the universe don't say no. The universe just says yes. So if you sit up there and you complain and you talk about, oh my God, this work is too hard, I can't do it or whatever, guess what? You're going to have more obstacles. But if you say, you know what, this work is so rewarding, I love doing it, it's a challenge, but I know I can get through it, the pathway is going to open. Remember that as you stay the path that feels connected, the path will continue to lead you to alignment. vision, productivity, okay? The superpower. This is the ideal time to dedicate long hours to a project, okay? And I got a long project I got to work on tonight. It's due tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Been working on it since last week. When I tell y'all, center yourself, do the work, and move through it, this is the time. You'll have less need for sleeping at the beginning of your summer. And really that's in the follicular phase, at the early phase, which was for me last week. And crack on with things that you might put off during the rest of the month when your energy shifts. You might dip down, right? You can do that during this time. You can do all the hard work during this time, because when you get to that luteal phase, you're going to be ready to sit down. That's what that's basically saying. You'll have less need for sleep at the beginning of your summer, and crack on with the things that you might put off during the rest of the month when your energy shifts. This is all energetic. Having a monthly cycle is quantum. It is not just about bleeding. Having a monthly cycle is about connecting to your cyclical nature. It's about your nature-based practices. It's about your principles. It's about how you assume the position as a womb-bearing woman. And when you're doing this, you're able to harness energy from your womb that allows you to keep time in a pathway, on a timeline that is good for you. That's why I said your path is going to be unique. It's like 1, 2, 3. Okay? It's not going to be like everybody else's. But the danger of this is, what if you've got no idea what you're meant to do with your life, or aren't conceiving and you want to? This is the problem. When I worked with families who wanted to conceive babies, you know what I would always ask the couples? What is your vision? And I might have shared this story in the past, so if I'm sharing something that sounds redundant, okay, I'm telling this story. When you learn about public speaking and coaching, and you have to get before a stage, before people, guess what they do? They got a signature story or a signature talk. And my signature talk involves this one story, right? About a couple that I was working with, and they were trying to conceive a baby. And we did this beautiful session of guided meditation, and it was so amazing. And at the end of the session, I asked them both to share their stories with one another. Face to face, they turned, in easy pose, and they shared the story together. Now, what my job was to do was to listen. And so in the midst of me listening to them, what I heard them say was 2 different stories. He had his and she had hers, okay? Both of their stories were emergent, that there was going to be some kind of conflict with conception, okay? See, I'm going back to the thought process, right? You ask the universe for what you want, not what you don't want. So they were both ruminating. And so we had to break through that subconscious programming that was telling them that they couldn't have the birth experience that they wanted. One was conception all by itself. And 2, it was that it didn't have to be an emergency situation. He saw the baby having all kind of complications. He was afraid, right? And then she saw herself giving birth to the baby, and he wasn't present, and blah, blah, blah. Lo and behold, they divorced, and they didn't conceive children together. But that's what this is all about, right? Is that when you don't have no idea, and even when I work with pregnant moms, I'm like, what is your birth story? What do you want your birth to look like? They be like, I don't know. It's like, okay, so let's take it back. And I know this can be hard, especially when it's a spontaneous pregnancy that you didn't plan for, but you're there now, right? It's like, can we cycle back to the moment of conception when you were there in the moment and it was good to you? Now, can we take that energy and we put that into practice, right? So we have to think about the idea, right? And that's what the ovulation phase is about. It's about activating and putting the work into the idea that you conceive during the follicular phase, which is also the shift that this was talking about earlier, right? So there's a very real possibility that sadness, anxiety, frustration, and depression can disseminate the natural positivity and productivity of your summer. It can happen when we don't know what we want. right? And I remember a period of time, maybe over last year, I was having this happen during my ovulation cycle. I was anxious, frustrated. I didn't want to be bothered. And I was like, man, this must be perimenopause. This must be what they talking about. Because I was like, I was on team, I don't care. I'm really there now, but I was really there then. So what I had to do is like tap into some practices that could really help me to navigate that. And one of the things that I did is that I started being more connected to this group. I made a plan to be in this group every Monday that I could at 3:33, which is my birth time, p.m. And to do this for an hour and 11 minutes. Like I was like, okay, I'm intentional. I'm gonna do this thing at 3:33. I'm gonna be on here for an hour and 11 minutes till it's 4:44, and I'm gonna rock it out as hard as I could. So that way I could go on a week-long journey, right? And attend to the community that I want to build. So that was a way for me to put that energy into something that I wanted to do, right? And so it was simple. It was one thing that I had to do. Y'all hear me when I talk about what is one thing? That was the one thing for me, And so now that we've done that, it's time to have this conversation, y'all. I don't know how y'all feeling this day. We're going to have this conversation about this Moon Cycle Monday. And we're going to tap in. I got my notes up here on my desktop. I love being able to do this from my desktop. Because today we get ready to rest, we're going to reflect, and we're going to reignite. And the reason why I led with rest first is because when I was in Aspen, that was really all I did. I needed that. I needed that because I knew that there was going to be a big shift that was coming, which was my children's birthday, right? And then the other shift that was coming was school was starting back. And I needed to get myself regulated before that happened. So I think that it's important for us to really understand the presence of pause, especially in our moon cycle journey, so that we're not just talking about this stuff, but we're walking through it. And everybody can take a break and understand that that break is sacred time for you. And whether or not you believe that you can or not, I'm not here to argue that with anybody. I'm just here to do my best to be an example that is something that we can participate in if we want to. And I'm not saying you got to go to Aspen. I'm saying you just got to sit your ass down. You got to be able to say, okay, for 5 minutes. You ain't got to fly nowhere for 5 hours, because that's what it took for me to get there, 5 hours. But if I wasn't there, I have created space for myself to where I'm like, listen, I'm going to take 5 minutes out of my everyday to just reconnect with myself. Then at one point I was like, I'm about to get up earlier in the morning, so I ain't got to worry about my time being interrupted with other things. If that means I got to get up at 4:30 every day, that's what I'm going to do. So I can make sure that I am creating the sacred space for myself. So I want to welcome you all back to our sacred circle. This Moon Cycle Monday is a place where we are syncing up, we are slowing down, and we are honoring our womb wisdom. I really, really missed y'all last week. And while I was in Aspen getting all the spiritual downloads and recalibrating, I want y'all to know that I took advantage of rest as my right, like as a rite of passage. So today, I'm going to tap in and I'm going to back up into this space to honor the power of the pause. Last week was like a postpartum retreat for me. In July, we celebrated my 7-year-old. He turned 7. And I needed to really collectively take a break because I have been parenting, for 18 years. And I've been doing it to my capacity, I think, very well. So much so that I was putting a lot of work and pressure on myself as a mom to perform, to be productive. And sometimes I didn't have the energy. Sometimes life would be so overwhelming and I didn't have the energy to pause. Did you hear what I said? I didn't have the energy to pause. But I had to be able to reconnect to that power. And I'll tell y'all, and I probably have said this to y'all before, you know when that power of pause came for me? When my dad died. You know, I hope, don't bring no tears. Trigger warning. When my dad passed away, it forced me to stop. It forced me to harness my power. It forced me into isolation to a degree, into a rite of passage. And you know, there's 3 parts to a rite of passage, right? It's the transition, it's the isolation, and then reconnection. I'm not saying it probably in the right order, but those are 3 things when you're talking about doing a rite of passage, right? And so in that, I had to pause. And in pausing, I had a lot of anxiety, I had a lot of fear, and I took my dad with me because I actually was going on a grief walk. And I didn't, you know, fully express that, but I did. I went on a grief walk because a lot of things in my life are transitioning. You know, a lot of things, my children are getting older. I got an 18-year-old now. He's great. This is last year of high school. I cried like a baby on his 18th birthday, you know. And one of the things that I learned as a birthday mom was that I had to really tap into exercises that allow me to transition and to expand. And that's what this work was about for me over that weekend was about expansion. I had a panic attack because my flight was canceled, and I didn't know if I was going to make it back in time for his birthday, which I made it back. His birthday was on Thursday. My flight was able to get back out on Tuesday. And I was just totally like in this mode of like, oh my God, what else? But let me tell you what I did before my flight got canceled. I was texting one of my girlfriends and I was like, girl, it is so nice out here. I don't want to come back. Before I sent the text to her, I don't even think I got to send her the text. I got a text from United telling me that my flight was canceled. So when I tell you, when you're in an aligned space, don't allow for the negative things to spiral you, because they will. So today we get ready to do this grounding work, and we get ready to do some breath work exercises so that we can really get back into our bodies. Because when I tell you, having the capacity to be in your body and to rest in your body and not always be up here, that's what's going to save your life. That's what's going to give you more energy, is to come out of your head and come into your body. You know, and then coming into your body means you coming into your spirit, because then you right here, you in your heart, you know. And I want you to, right now, as we do this breathing exercise, I want you to sit up straight, and I want you to put your right hand over your heart, and put your left hand over your womb, just below your belly button. And I want to ground into our bodies. Take some deep breaths in. Deep breath in through your nose. Hold it and exhale slowly. Again, I want you to inhale through your nose. Exhale slowly. One more time, because this breath is a reminder. In through your nose, out through your nose, that you're here, that you're present, that you are whole, and you are home to yourself. You are home to yourself. And I want you to know that. So our main session today, we're going to talk about rest is a rhythm. It's not something that we regress. It's not something that we try to tap into to make to make an escape, right? It's not an escapism thing. It's a rhythm that we should be able to tap into. I have a friend that takes daily naps, and I really, really, really appreciate that for them, because I think that it's important as adults that we get to do that. We get to facilitate that for ourselves, right? If you know you get go on your lunch break and you pack your lunch, eat your lunch for 10 minutes, and then take that other 20 minutes and close your eyes for a minute. Set your alarm. Do what you gotta do. 20 minutes. There's a science that says 15 minutes of a cat nap will re-energize you for the rest of the day, right? And if we do that consistently, we're getting back so much time and cellular growth and development and cognitive skills even, right? When we make those kinds of decisions. And so I wanted to just bring that up because I think that when we think about rest, we just think about doing nothing. We think about it from a lazy perspective, and then that's how we start to regress it and be like, I don't need that. I need to be busy. I need to be doing X, Y, Z, Z, Z. And it's like, no, your body is telling you that you need to relax. Your body is telling you to get down to it and say, okay, yeah, I want to relax. I need some time. Okay? So just like your cycle has a follicular and a luteal, right? Your life moves in seasons too. This means missing a week is not falling behind. That's in sync with nature. Okay? There's a message right there. The ding just came on my phone. That's a confirmation. The Yoni challenge that we just did, it may have been about consistency, but there's a but. It's also about self-compassion. It's also about we don't hustle in this house. We flow, right? We're not chasing nothing. We are aligning so that the things that we really want to experience flow to us. We become attractors. We become attractive. And when we're attractors and we're attractive, we start to bring the flow to us that provides us with more ease. And I remember I was praying and I was like, God, just give me some ease. I just want ease. I just want ease. And I didn't have no clients coming through the door. It's locked right now. And most people come after work. But it was very, very slow. Okay? And I didn't know what to do about that. I was totally mortified because I was like, I'm starting this business and I need clients and I need this and I need that. Then you ask for ease. So we have to be conscious of what we ask for. So I want you to use this prompt in this time to reflect. Where have I been holding shame around slowing down? What did my womb whisper while I was still? Those are the two prompts of reflection. When you just sat there and did that breathing exercise, you were still, even if it was for 30 seconds. Could you feel your womb talking to you? Did you feel anxious to say, come on, hurry up and get to the part that we're going to be really getting into? You don't want to sit still and connect to your breath and ground? Because that's slowing down. And if we're slowing down, then oftentimes slowing down might seem a little indifferent. Right? It might be hard to slow down. Because as y'all know, after the ovulation phase, we're going to get into, which is the summer, right? The inner summer, we're going to go into this inner fall. That is a luteal phase. During the luteal phase, which is often our fall season, our slow down time, we are making room for PMS symptoms, right? Or emotional check-ins. And we honor that. We honor the fact that we don't know bullshit during the luteal phase. We honor that we like, listen, back up off of me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it right now. I just need to get through this phase so I can get to bleed. And then after that, I'll talk to you. Okay? So I want to use this makeup session that we missed from last week to this week as a model of what it means to create a rhythm. And not just react in urgency because I was like, oh no, I missed it. I'm going to do it on Friday. I didn't even have the words to give y'all on Friday. I didn't even have nothing that I really, because I hadn't digested and processed all the beauty that had came to me while I was in Aspen, you know. And our bodies are divine instruments that take time to process information, right? So I knew that when I came back, I was going to be in full-fledged ovulation mode. But I needed that energy to practice what I needed to practice with my children over the week. You know, I needed that energy so I can get them back to school. Because that's what I was creating space for, is to align with what they need from me over this next few weeks, right? So one of the big things that came to me while I was there was that I was able to talk to some friends about some different wellness approaches that I'm really highly interested in, and tying all the modalities together that I've learned, right? And one of them is the postpartum healing work that I've done and that I've been certified in for years. And I thought about group coaching, which is, you know, it's a thing. This is what I feel like I do here in this group at no cost. And I knew that I wanted to go deeper. I knew that I needed to go deeper with the individuals in this group who are really active and really wanting to participate at a higher scale, right? And when I started thinking about it and thinking about it really deep and hard, I was like, not only have I done postpartum work, but I've also done contraceptive and reproductive work. I've also done menstrual health work. I've also done mental health work. Like, I've done all these different things that are a combination, even health and fitness. You know, I've done a lot of things. There go that ding, okay? Confirmation. I've done a lot of things that could really help me to master the space and place to hold a group coaching program, you know, and for it to be, you know, a moon cycle mastery program. And the thing about mastering your moon cycle is not just about whether you bleed or you ovulate. It's about how productive are you? How much are you in alignment with your systems so that you can really navigate the lifestyle that you say you want to? And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to invite the women in the group to participate in a new group coaching session. And it's not going to be free. It's not going to be free because it's really the investment is you just challenging yourself. You know, this investment is for you to be able to look at your life and say, where do I feel like I can be more productive in my everyday life if I learn how to really practice the cyclical nature that's really within me, right? How can I really go deeper? How can I really get the tools, the real tools? You know, I'm not a guru. I don't never want to be looked at as a person like that. But I do look at myself as a person who knows how to facilitate and hold space for a circle of support. And I want to invite you all to participate and enroll in what I would like to present as a 4-week Moon Cycle Mastery group coaching program. And this group coaching program is going to start in 1 week. And it's really designed to help you to reset, because we're going to be in the fall. And when the fall comes, not only do we experience seasonal depression, we got a lot of holidays rolling through the fall and the winter. You know, we need to learn how to practice the rite of the seasonal shift, which the fall comes to tell you it's okay to start slowing down. It's okay to start putting things down. The leaves start putting themselves down. You see the leaves turn colors? That's transitionary energy that's telling us that it's time for us to slow down and become something new. It's time for us to fall away. And I think it would be a great way for us to collectively build out what is necessary to come back into 2026. See, everybody's going to be ready for their New Year's resolutions and all this and the third. But in our group coaching session, we're not worried about January 1 because that's not our season to jump back in. That's still our inner winter. We're going to be focused on March 21, right? And over the 4 weeks, we're going to build out the calendar to be able to help you to understand that all you need is 30 days, right? So in that, you're going to get a free moon cycle reset journal. It's going to include 7 days of womb center reflection, journal prompts, and intention setting, because that's really what it is, right? Is that if you're not able to set your intentions, you're going to have a really hard time tackling and getting into what it is that you're saying that you want, right? And you heard me say that, like, sometimes people get frustrated, they get anxious, they get upset because they really don't understand and know what they want. But we're going to be doing live activations to help you to center your mindset, to tackle forgiveness, because that's a big part. Let me take a drink on that. That's a big part, because it's really hard to do the big inner work when you still have not forgiven yourself for playing small. And I'm going to tell you, that's what Aspen taught me this past weekend. And it wasn't about the money, because when I tell y'all, Aspen is its own little secret place. You can't just go. And I learned that. Like, my direct flight going there, I was like, oh, I was so shocked, you know, that I made it there on my connecting flight, because flights don't go in and out. You go in there, you on a private plane. It's only 2 airlines that fly into there. And so when my flight got canceled on the way back, I was like, man, what does this mean? I got to explore more things than I would have if I would have been gone on Sunday, right? So the context of what was there is that people live a luxurious and leisurely life. I'm talking about a 1 bedroom is $6,800 a month. You want a 3 bedroom, you're gonna pay $25,000 a month. All the top name brand stores and boutiques, and I was there actually shopping for another location for Pretty Period, because I know where I want to go. This is my flagship here in Oklahoma, but I want to put my business model in places where I know that affordability won't be an issue. And we got to get over that too. So when we think about these things, we got to think about, like, okay, how can I lead a softer life? It ain't about just channeling a man to give it to you. This is how you journal and put these things into action so you can put them into practice, like 1, 2, 3. So your journal is your soft landing. It's your sacred restart. And those 4 weeks together, and we do the affirmations and the meditations and we do the activations, all of those things are going to be here to help you to tap into your highest good, your most fulfilling timeline. And you cannot really tap into your full potential and your highest timeline if you don't really understand your cyclical nature. You might do well. You might do well, but guess what? You can do better. You can do better than imagined. And that's what that weekend taught me. Is that everything that I imagined, that I asked for, that I want, guess what? It came to me like this. And I was like, oh my God. The job opportunity, meaning a contract to work with people from all over the country. It was people there from all over the country. Everywhere I go, I was hearing a different language. You know, meeting people who are native to the city, to the town, making new friends, building networks, eating really good fresh food. Like, all of those things are things that I've always, like, that's my lifestyle. That's what I love. That's what I want to do, right? So when I started to really think about what it is that I can offer this collective group, I was like, they need more mastery over this cyclical thing, and they need it as a group for the accountability, one, but they also need it so that they can really tap into their own unique cyclical vision. And when I first started out doing the work as a birth worker, right, I train in quantum midwifery. And if you know anything about the matrona, you know and you understand that it's not your average run-of-the-mill midwifery practice or training. And this was in 2013, so almost 13 years ago. And when I did that training, it opened me up to see that there's a possibility that we don't tap into. And we definitely don't tap into that stillness and that possibility in childbirth because it's always set with this really chaotic intention. And so when we don't know how to set the intention when we're in our very preconceptive consciousness, which is before we even get pregnant, when we don't understand menstruation, how we actually can get pregnant. When I did that work last year and I did the outreach, I was like, whoa, women don't need contraception. They need to know how they get pregnant. And when they don't know how to get pregnant, they just lean on contraception to be the one that's accountable for them. You know, I owned a family planning center for 6 years. I still have the business, but I don't practice that the same because I understood that we don't need contraception. We need conversation. We need coaching. We need consulting. We need vision. So when I think about this coaching program, and what I want from it, and what I want to offer through it, is that I want to transform the way women see themselves through their cyclical lens. I want to be able to go deeper. I want to be able to go deeper so that they can find pleasure in it, joy, liberation, and that they can get, you guys can get real tools. Like, this is me talking in third person because I was like out there and I went on this hike and I was like 14,000 feet above sea level and it took me 40 minutes to get up there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it in 45 minutes because I've been training. I walk about 2 to 3 miles every day, but I wasn't on the incline and I was struggling. I was like, oh God, I think I need to take a break. But what I realized is that that's what we don't do. We don't push through. But when you have a circle of support around you, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And I'll beat my time by 5 minutes. And so I'm going to share a link with you guys later on to help you to get tapped in. And for this group, I'm definitely going to do something really special that I haven't done before. Not only are you going to get the free moon cycle reset journal, so that you can really tap into resetting your consciousness. Because, like, let me go back. Quantum midwifery. When I learned that skill, I later went into neurolinguistics. I went into NLP because I understood that the marketing and the programming, and I was already in communications and in cross-cultural media and doing things like that. But what I also understood and I was listening to, you know, as a facilitator and practitioner, was that we keep hearing this narrative around things that we fear, the possibility of showing up and being in our bigness. And one thing that I have learned over time is that women have been trained to shrink. Women have been trained to put things down that they find to be interesting or fulfilling. And what I want to do with this group is to really help you tap into that fulfillment, okay? Because it's not about you taking this coaching opportunity and just saying, oh yeah, I just went and I got some coaching. You're going to get real tools. You're going to really be held up in a level of support that you probably ain't never been held up in. And I'm going to send you the invitation in this group because I believe and I know that when you get this information, when you get to really practice and lock in, oh my God, things are going to start showing up for you and you're going to be able to have a testimony. And that testimony is going to say that, you know what, I have mastered my moon cycle. I've mastered it. I know when I'm going to have my cycle with or without jewelry. I know I can feel my body shifting, and I know where I am within my cycle. I know that I'm feeling all frisky and wildly because my body is calling for me to procreate something. But I also know that my body is calling me to wind down when I start to get irritable and I start to feel like I have less tolerance. So I know where I can be the most productive in my lifespan and on my timeline. And I know that I can jump timelines if I need to so that I can be prepared for what's to come when I'm able to rest, because I can get the messages and I can get the downloads to support that. And I can invite my ancestors and my spirit guides to give me what I need so that I can really center my womb, so that I can really be reflective, so that I can really initiate the prompts that are being given to me. And I can create the concert or the initiation of the intention, right? So this group coaching is about pausing. It's not about you trying to stay connected to something that is hard to do. It's not about giving you something else to have to do. It's about you saying that you deserve stillness. You deserve ease. You deserve rest. You deserve reflection. And you deserve that when you bleed. You deserve that when you're seeding. So you deserve it in the winter, in the spring, in the summer, and fall. You deserve it when you need it. And so I want to give you guys an affirmation. My pause has power. My rhythm is divine. And I honor every phase of who I am becoming. Whether you're a maiden, a mother, or a crone, your pause has power. Your capacity to stop and be still and say no, that is a rhythm. That is divinity. You know how it says, and on the seventh day, God rested. So imagine that God gave us this alchemical process that for 7 days we would bleed, right? And during those 7 days of bleeding, we would be resting so that we could tap into the divine rhythm of the spring when everything becomes in motion, right? Where all the seeds that came from the bleed cycle start to download into our consciousness, into our bodies, so that we can activate them in the summer, only to harvest them during the fall so that we can begin to rest again. And that is the honoring of who we are becoming. And that becomes our cyclical nature. That becomes a part of who we are. And that becomes our why. So we're going to do a quick guided meditation. And I just got a thought. that thought, I want you to take a deep breath in. I want you to take a deep breath in and feel yourself. Feel yourself tapping in. Feel yourself connecting. Feel yourself grounding. Just for yourself. Feel yourself remembering. Feel yourself being reminded of who you are. And not just who you are, but whose you are. Remember your grandmothers. Remember your aunties. Remember your sisters. Okay? And lean into the fact that this is sacred feminine energy. It moves through us every single month. Gently, intuitively, and with grace. And sometimes with rage. Sometimes with fear. Sometimes with shame and regret. But that's feminine energy. That's power on every spectrum. And so I welcome you to this space with love, because today we give ourselves permission to pause. Pause to breathe. Pause to return to our bodies, to our breath. To let this sacred feminine rhythm move through us, move to us with ease and gentleness and intuition, with mercy and with grace. And we take a deep inhale in through the nose. And we exhale fully through the mouth with audible sound. Allowing your belly to fall. As we inhale again, bringing all that light, fire, prana energy into our bellies. And we exhale every heavy thing. And one more time, we inhale peace. Filling our bellies up with so much air, however much we can hold. Everybody wants some of this energy today. And we exhale with pleasure. Must be nice. And I want you to place your hand on your heart and on your womb. And I want you to promise to yourself. Promise to yourself that you'll learn how to rest. That you'll take this time and you'll position yourself to feel okay, to rest when it's time, to rest when your body is telling you to not feel overwhelmed, overworked, and exhausted. It's okay. It's okay to stop. It's okay to pause. It's okay. The children, they'll be fine. Your partner, your family, your friends, they'll be fine. They'll be okay. But it's time to recondition yourself to believe that. The only person that really needs you in this lifetime is you. And I know that's really hard to accept, and it's hard to imagine, your kids, yeah, they need you. And especially if they're very small, yes, they need you. But they can't have you if your cup is empty. The goal in this group is to give you back to yourself so that you don't have to piecemeal yourself out to others, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And every month when you cycle through your menses, your body is telling you it's okay to pour out, to let go, to release the desire to hold on to things that are no longer serving you, to clean out that old cobweb closet, that old junk drawer, that old black box. Clean it out. That's why we breathe deep, and that's why we exhale with sound. And that sound is a sound of relief, of release, of pleasure, of liberation. And it may sound funny, right? But it's okay. Laugh at it. Laugh at the sound. Find joy in it. Connect to it. And reignite your place in this world. Because this is your time. This is your time. This is your time to master your cycle, to master your cyclical nature, to challenge yourself, to be more of you, right? To dig deeper, to get the tools, to be held. Because your pause has power. Your rhythm is divine. And it's time that you honor who you're becoming, because some cycles are meant to be repeated. And I hope that this helps somebody today, because it definitely has helped me to connect with you all and to feel my way through, as we all are. And I look forward to seeing y'all on the other side. And we will talk soon, okay? Link coming shortly. And if you're interested, this is your time. This is your time to join the next wave of consciousness for your moon cycle. Love, light, liberation, peace.